Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotworld.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And for this week's reading, I'm using the Timeless Tarot by Tarot Winstanley. And this is my newest tarot deck. I just got it in the mail the other day, and it comes in this really cute tin box. That's really quite adorable. And I've looked through this deck, but I have yet to do a reading with it. So this is going to be my first reading with this deck. So pretty excited to try this deck out. Okay, so I've already filmed this reading video twice, but I made 2 attempts to make this video, and my kitten Merlina has ruined both of the videos. She was an absolute jerk, and she waltzed right in front of the camera and ripped my scarf down that you see in the background and just started attacking it and chewing it, and it was quite a disaster. So that happened twice. So I've locked her in her cat room with some toys so I could get this video made. Okay, so the first card is going to be representative of Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week. And it's beautiful. We have an Ace of Cups. Now this really is kind of the first reading for 2017, so that's exciting. So Monday, we've got the Ace of Cups. Aces are always about new beginnings, starting something fresh. There's a real sense of that fresh energy with the aces. So Monday, we're starting things fresh. We're particularly turning over a new leaf when it comes to relationships. So the whole suit of cups has to do with feelings, emotions, and relationships, and how we relate to one another, and how we feel about each other, and how we communicate that. And I often think of the Ace of Cups as representing that feeling you might get when you have so much good feelings that you feel like almost like your heart is overflowing. It's kind of that feeling. And it makes me think of that saying that people say that, you can't love others unless you love yourself. And it really is about doing things to make yourself happy and to create happiness and joy and love for yourself as a way of being able to share it with others. So kind of being able to take some time to focus on the self on a regular basis so that you have lots left over to share with others. It's a kind of a way of cultivating affection and cultivating love and energy. So what does it mean for us? I feel like many of us will be perhaps starting new relationships, like meeting people for the first time this week, whether that's a romantic relationship, a friendship, any kind of relationship really. And I think that the beginning of the week is a good time to be courageous when it comes to communicating our feelings, and to have that courage to maybe step out of the box, outside of our own box for a minute, and do something different that we aren't normally comfortable doing. So I think most of us can relate to that feeling of being stuck in a particular pattern of communication, or a pattern of maybe not expressing feelings, or even expressing feelings too much. And this card is about stepping out of our pattern and trying something new, trying something different this week. So maybe communicating in a different way. There's many different ways that might look like for you. So Wednesday and Thursday, the middle of the week, we have Death. So, very dramatic. This is a dramatic card. There's an elephant. Looks like the elephant's dead, and then there's like a skeleton, like the death figure, and then this tiger coming out of the skeleton, or wrapped around the skeleton. So it's a very, very, very dramatic card. And the Death card comes when there is an end of some sort. So it typically has to do with maybe the end of a phase in your life. It could be something more physical, like the end of a job, the end of a relationship, the end of a friendship, the end of it can even come up if you're moving locations, or doing something new, some kind of some kind of change. That's really what it represents, is some kind of change. And it also represents a certain kind of liberation as well. So, and I'm thinking of that legend of the phoenix, with the phoenix rising out of the ashes, and quite often that will be used to depict the judgment card. So I'm kind of talking about the judgment card as well here, but death really does have to do with change, and how change is necessary in order for transformation to occur. And usually death is kind of the uncomfortable part of change. So there's like that good part of change that comes when, the exciting part of change that feels good. But then there's always that part before that exciting part that sometimes isn't so good. So like, when you lose a job, it can feel horrible, but then, you get another job that you like more after that, or you're able to become self-employed and reinvent yourself. But there's always usually that kind of uncomfortable part of change at some point. So keep this in mind. And I'm, it really makes me think of New Year's resolutions and how people will set goals for themselves, like to eat better or to exercise or whatever. And I think there's always an uncomfortable part of doing that. Like if you're actually going to stick with a resolution or a goal or something like that, there's always part of that is not fun. And that is quite uncomfortable. And I think that this card kind of represents that. So I'm probably going to come back to this card because I feel like there's more I want to say, but I want to move on to the last card. This is the card of the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we have the King of Cups. Now the King of Cups is such a, I should say the suit of cups is kind of like a romantic suit. And so quite often the court cards of this suit have kind of a idealistic, almost romantic flair to them. The King of Cups, not as much as, say, the Knight of Cups or the Page of Cups. So the King of Cups is sort of a mature representation of the suit of cups. So this is basically the realm of feelings, relationships, love, emotion, romance, and what that whole realm looks like and how it's experienced through the eyes of someone who is mature and in control of themselves and stable and intelligent. So what it means for us is that this weekend you're going to have an opportunity to basically channel your inner King of Cups. So there might be instances where you will be called upon to be the mature one, especially when it comes to relationships and expressing feelings or listening to other people express their feelings. You're going to have to step in and be the mature one. You might be sort of the voice of reason. You might even be the one who kind of is like not the ringmaster, but the one that kind of talks everyone down and kind of is soothing and reasonable. So this is basically what happens when you're able to remain calm and soothing, reasonable, intelligent, and express yourself well. Because I think a lot of us get caught up when we express ourselves. Sometimes it can come out overly emotional or uncontrolled if we have strong feelings. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick step back and look at all these cards together. I feel like the Death card really means something here. I feel like it's much stronger than the other two cards. We've got the Ace of Cups, King of Cups, a lot of Cups energy, and then this Death card right in the middle. And I want to reach out to you and ask you what you feel that Death card represents. I feel like it represents change and transformation, particularly in the areas of relationships and feelings and communicating those feelings. But I want to ask you what your feelings are. So feel free to share in the comment section below. And my name is Kate. I'm from dailytarotgirl.com. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week.